Good morning, students. Once again, welcome to GP class. In last class, in previous classes, we had a discussion about chapter 1. That means circuit breaker
Record
concept.
చేస్తున్నారా?
Sir?
రికార్డింగ్.
Yes, sir. Yes.
ఆ, ఆ.
In previous classes, we had a discussion about circuit breaker concept. That means types of circuit breakers and how the circuit breaker is work when a fault is happened in a system, and also why the arc is initiated in circuit breaker when it opens, and how we are going to extinguish that arc, and what are the methods we are going to follow to extinguish the torque. And also we derive some equations like restacking voltage and RRV, and we did some problems about restacking voltage. And so those are the concepts what we learned in previous classes. Now in this class we are going for a new chapter. That one is relays, especially magnetic relays. So in this chapter we are going to learn about magnetic relays. Already we know that we have different type of relays like magnetic relays, static relays, and digital relays. But especially chapter 2, it is for only magnetic relays. Okay. Now let me see the topics which we want to cover in this unit, in this chapter. Let me see it. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in this unit. Uh, uh, Chapter name is electromagnetic protection. That means nothing but in this unit we are going to learn relays. The type of relays are magnetic, electromagnetic type relays, Okay, we are completely learn about electromagnetic relays in this unit. So first topic, relays connection, and how the relay is work when the fault is happen in system. And then after we are going to learn a torque equation. Already I told you it is a electromagnetic relay. So that's why we need to derive a equation. That one is torque equation, electromagnetic torque. Here it is, electromagnetic torque. So due to this torque only, relay is operate. That means relay coil is tripped. Relay coil is tripped because of this electromagnetic torque. And then we are going for classification types of relays. So here these are the types. These are the types of relays which we are going to cover in this unit. So those are electromagnetic attraction type relays. First type is based on structure, based on construction. We are going to classify the relays. So those are electromagnetic attraction type relay. And second one is induction type relays. That means so again, that means based on operation. So this one is based on structure, and this one is based on operation. So induction type relays. And next one is based on logic. Based on logic, again we classified into relays like direction type relay. Here the logic is here. Why the means how the relay is going to operate. So based on logic, and that logic is directional of activating quantity, directional activating quantity. Either it may be activating quantity, either it may be a voltage, current, or phase angle between voltage and current. So based on timing also we can classify it relays. And distance relay, again it is a logic. Again it is a logic of relay, how it going to operate. And differential relay, again it is a logic. So logic. And overcurrent, so overcurrent relay and under voltage relays. And finally we are going to see applications of these type of relays. And again we will derive the universal torque equation. Here we can see two torque equations. One is a normal generalized torque equation, and the second one is universal torque equation. The difference is between torque equation and universal torque equation is torque equation is nothing but, in this case, we simply derive a T value, and the T value is directly proportional to I1 I2 sine alpha, I1 I2 sine alpha. But here in this case, we include in this universal torque equation, while we are deriving the universal torque equation, we include different constant, we include different constraints. Like that means, after considering the different constraints, we will get a torque value. That torque value is like k1 I square plus k2 v square plus k3 into vi cos of theta minus t plus k4, like this. Okay. So this is the universal torque equation. This one is the normal torque equation. Here T is only, we can derive it like I1 directly proportional to I1 I2 sine of alpha, where alpha is the phase angle between I1 and I2. Okay, so let me see it in further classes. We can know it. So what is a torque equation and what is universal torque equation? Okay, we will see it in further classes. No problem. Okay, now let see the first one. So this one is the syllabus we are going to cover. We are going to cover in this unit. So first, connections, some basic thing, basic thing about relays, and then torque equation, then types of relays, and then applications. Okay. So only simple. If we say simply, we can going to cover three main elements in this unit. That one is basic things of relays and torque equations and types of relays and applications of relays. That's all. Okay. Now first we go for classification of relays. So generally, simply we cannot elaborate. Simply I can say which type of relays we can go for in this unit. So classification of relays are like this. So magnetic attraction type relays. So based on structure, here electromagnetic attraction type relay. It is the type of relay is magnetic attraction, and these magnetic attraction type relays are classified into three types. These are classified into three types. That one is solenoid type, attracted armature type, and balanced beam type. Okay. So in our syllabus, we have only one type. That one is balanced beam type. So electromagnetic attraction type relays are classified into three types: solenoid type, attracted armature type, balanced beam type. But in our syllabus, we have only balanced beam type, electromagnetic attraction relay, balanced beam type electromagnetic attraction relay. So we can we can study only balanced beam type only. Okay. Now next classification based on operation, induction type relays. So here we have two type of induction relays. That one is induction disk type and induction cup type. Induction disk type and induction cup type. So these two are we are going to learn. These two are we are going to learn in this syllabus. Next, direction based on logic direction. Here the logic is direction of activating quantity. Uh, Based on that, here we classified relays are two types: reverse current type directional relays, reverse power type directional relays. Okay, so here these two are in our syllabus. We are going to read, we are going to study these two relays also. Next one, here based on timing, based on operating time also, we can classify the relays based on operating time. Also we can classify the relays. So here it is: instantaneous type, definite time lag type, inverse time lag type. So these three are all in our syllabus. So we are going to read, we are going to study the these three relays based on timing. Now some more classification about relays. Distance type relays. This one is the logic. Here the logic is distance of activating quantity, and based on this, we have different type of relays like impedance type relays, reactance type relays, admittance type relays, offset more relays. Here admittance, nothing but more relays. Okay. Now differential relays. Here again, it is logic is the differential between activating quantity, difference between activating quantity, and based on that, again, relays are classified into current differential relays, voltage differential relays, and percentage differential relays. So these all things we are going to learn in this unit. Okay, so these all things we are going to learn in this unit. So this is about classification. We will completely read and study the these type of relays in our unit 2, okay. So we will go for type by type. So one more is there. One more type is say over current relays and under voltage relays. Here the activating quantity is current, and here the activating quantity of relay is voltage. So over current in the sense when the activating quantity, if we consider the activating quantity is current, the relay has a preset value. If the relay has a preset value, that means, so suppose the preset value of relay is 1000 amperes, that means 1 kilo ampere. When the fault current is beyond that, that means if the fault current is beyond 1000 amperes, then the relay is operate. Here also same, here the activating quantity is voltage. Suppose we consider it, voltage value is preset, relay preset value is 100 volts, 100 volts or 1 kV, 1000 volts, 1 kV. So when the voltage value is less than the preset value, the relay operate. So like this, the relay is going to be operate. Let me see how the relay is operate and why we are going to use. So why we are going to use relays and how the relays are going to operate in power system. So we know that some points related to relay already. Relay is nothing but a device. It can sense the fault. Already we know it. But for recall, here I write some more points about relays. Why we are going to use relays in power system. Let's see. So we know that the common points. What we know about a relay are: it is a sensing device. It continuously monitoring the system, and when abnormal conditions are happen to the system, it sense it, and when it sense the abnormal condition, it give a signal to the circuit breaker, and circuit breaker when the circuit breaker get a signal from the relay, it opens, and when circuit breaker open the contacts, automatically that entire faulty section is isolated from the healthy system. This is the thing what we know about a relay in with previous knowledge. So that same thing is explained in this slide. So like this. So a protective relay is nothing but a device. A protective relay is a device that monitors system conditions. That monitors system conditions, like condition in the sense it continuously monitor the system, either uh, current, either voltage, either phase angle between current and voltage, using current transformers and potential transformers. So the basic thing about a relay is it continuously monitor the system conditions with the help of current transformer and potential transformer, and it reacts to the detection of abnormal condition. It continuously monitors the system condition, and also it will react when the abnormal conditions are happen in system. This is the basic function of relay. Now, one more important thing about the relay is it always compares the real-time actual quantities. It always compares the real-time actual quantities against preset programmable threshold values, and sends DC electrical control signals to trip circuit breakers or other of opening devices in an effort to clear an abnormal conditions on the equipment it is protecting. So so what they said is, so here the activating, suppose let me consider the relay activating quantity is current. Here the relay activating quantity is current. Here the relay activating quantity is current. So this relay always compares. This relay is always compares this current value, that means the real current value with its preset value. So the relay is always compares the system current value and also its preset value. So when the difference is take place, it send a signal to the circuit breaker. It send a signal to the circuit breaker. When circuit breaker get a signal from relay, it operate. Okay, that means one more important thing is, so the relay is always the relay is always compares the real value, that means the real current value with its preset value. Okay, so when the difference is happened, between these two values, ultimately it send a signal to the circuit breaker. When the circuit breaker get a signal, when the system problems are detected, the breakers are tripped and alarm indications are sent to the system control, and sometimes other protection operations are initiated. So when the circuit breaker get a signal from relay, ultimately the contacts are open, circuit breaker contacts are open, and the faulty section is isolated from healthy one. And other way also it send a signal, that means like it indicate with alarms, and that one is sent to the control panel. Okay, sometimes other protection operations are initiated. So this is the basic thing. We need to explain. That means basic thing we want to know about relays. So once again I explain, a relay is nothing but a device. It always monitor the system, and also it compares the real values with its preset value. If is there any difference between the real value and preset value, at that condition immediately it send a signal to the circuit breaker. When the circuit breaker get a signal from the relay, ultimately the circuit breaker contacts are open. When the contacts are open, we can isolate that faulty section from isolate healthy one. So in this way a relay is going to be work in our power system. Okay, so now we go for with an example how the relay can protect, how the relay is going to be protect our power system, with an example. Here it is in this diagram. This one you call it as a relay. This one we call it as the relay. This one we call it as relay. Okay. So now here in this diagram we can see some components like current transformer, and this current transformer secondary. This current transformer secondary is connected to the relay coil. Suppose if the activating quantity is current, then this relay coil we call it as current coil. If the activating quantity is voltage, then we here in this place we can use potential transformer, and the potential transformer is connected to the relay coil, and that relay coil we call it as at the time voltage coil. Okay, so in this case here the activating quantity is current, the activating quantity is current, and that's why here we place a current transformer to monitor. So why we place current transformer? So because to monitor current, to monitor this particular line current. So that's why here we place current transformer. So that current transformer secondary is connected to the relay coil, and this tripping contact. So this relay coil, when the relay coil is excited, so due to the excitation, the trip point contacts are operated. These trip contacts are operated because of the excitation of relay coil. So I repeat once again, the trip contacts are uh, the trip contact action is depends on the excitation of relay coil. Okay, now this one is tripping circuit. This one is tripping circuit. In this tripping circuit we can see this one is a DC source, and this one is the trip coil. This one is the trip coil, and when the trip coil is excited, ultimately due to some mechanical action, circuit breaker contacts are open. Okay, now let's see how the this circuit is going to be work when the fault is happen. So let's assume here it is a bus bar. Here it is a bus bar, and from the bus bar we are taking one feeder. It is a feeder line. It is a feeder line. Let's assume here we place one relay. Here we place one relay with circuit breaker. Here we place one relay with circuit breaker. So now let's say, suppose a fault is happen. A fault is happen in this feeder. So when the fault is happen, overcurrent is flow through the feeder. When the overcurrent is flows through the feeder, this particular current transformer sends the current, and according to that secondary of this current transformer will give a current to the, that means will give a current to the relay coil. Because of that fault current, the relay coil is excited. Because of this relay coil excitation, the trip contacts are closed at this one. The trip contacts are closed because of tripping action. Tripping contacts are closed. When the tripping contacts are closed, this one is becomes a closed circuit. This tripping circuit becomes like a closed circuit. When the tripping circuit like a closed circuit, because of this source, because of this DC source, current is flow through the tripping circuit. When the current is flow in the tripping circuit, tripping coil is excited. When the tripping coil is excited, because of mechanical action, circuit breaker contacts are open. When the circuit breaker contacts are open, ultimately the entire feeder is isolated from the bus bar. In this way we can protect bus bar. In this way we can protect the bus bar when the fault is happen in feeder. Okay, students, I hope you can understand. So simply I say one more thing, that means I will tell one more time. So here let's assume the fault is happen in this feeder. When the fault is happened, current transformer secondary is send a current to the relay coil. Due to that overcurrent, relay coil is excited. When the relay coil is excited, because of this one, due to the tripping action, trip contacts are closed. When the trip contacts are closed, because of this DC source, trip coil excited. When the trip coil is excited, because of mechanical action, circuit breaker contacts are open. When contacts are open, this entire feeder is isolated from bus bar. So this is the thing happen in system when the fault is uh, occur. So in this way we can protect our healthy system from the faults. One more important thing, uh, relays are does not interrupt or does not eliminate. So relays are does not interrupt or eliminate the faults. Eliminate the faults. It cannot. That means relay cannot interrupt or eliminate. Cannot interrupt or eliminate the faults. Okay. So it can do one thing. So only the thing is it can isolate. It can isolate the faulty section from healthy one. That's all. The main intention of relay is it can only isolate the faulty section from healthy one. That's all. Okay. It cannot eliminate fault, or it cannot interrupt fault. Okay. It did not do anything. It did not do anything about fault point of view. It do only isolate unhealthy section from healthy one. That's all. So the same things I write here whenever a fault occurs in feeder circuit. Okay. So please read. You can understand easily. Here, let's see here. So based here for our system, we are going to provide two protection schemes. In our power system, we are going to provide two power system schemes. So one is a primary protection scheme, and second one is backup protection schemes. Let's see. So why we are going to provide two protection schemes? Why we are going to use two protection scheme, like main protection scheme or backup protection scheme? Okay, and let's see. So here it is a simple example. Here we will take a simple example. So this one is a bus bar. This one is a bus bar, and so this one is a bus bar, and this one is feeder. So these are transmission lines. Okay, here we can see three power lines. In this diagram we can see three power lines. So one is bus bar, and second one is feeder, and third one is transmission lines. Okay, so now by seeing diagram we can say, so the transmission lines are protected. The transmission lines are protected with the help of relays. These are the relays. So these are the relays. So here we can see four transmission lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four transmission lines, and every transmission line has its own relay. So this one is the relay of first transmission line, second transmission line relay, third transmission, and fourth transmission relays. Okay, so these are the circuit breakers of each transmission. Okay, now here this particular relay is operate at 0.6 seconds. When the fault is happen, this particular relay is activated. When the relay is activated, it operate at 0.6 second. 0.6 second. So when the fault is happen, relay is activated and it operate at 0.6 second. That means it take 0.6 second. It take 0.6 second to operate. It take 0.6 second. That one is the nature. Of this relay. The nature of a relay is like this. So it activate immediately when the fault is happened. Immediately it activated, and to operate it take 0.6 second. And type of relay is, that means activating quantity is over current relay. It is a over current relay. That means when the current value is exceeds the relay preset value. Let's assume the relay preset value is 1 kilo ampere. The relay preset value is 1 kilo ampere. So already I said relay is continuously monitor the transmission line conditions. Here the condition is conditions are current. So relay is continuously monitor the transmission line current, and it compares and it compares continuously with its preset value. Here the preset value of relay is 1 kilo ampere. 1 kilo ampere. Okay. Now, so when the transmission line, current value is, suppose if it is 1.5 kilo kilo amperes, 1.5 kilo amperes. This one is the fault. When the fault is happening in transmission line, due to that fault, the line current becomes 1.5 kilo amperes. So this value is above the preset value. This value is over the preset value. This value is the over the preset value. That means 1.5 is over the one value. Okay, 1.5 kilo amperes is the over 1 kilo amperes. Okay, so that means there is a difference. Between this one is the real value. This one 1.5 kilo is the real value, and 1 kilo amperes is the preset value. So there is a difference between real value and preset value. Ultimately, relay is activated. The relay is activated. And one more important thing, it takes, okay, immediately relay is activated when the difference is taking place between real value and preset value. But to operate it takes 0.6 seconds. To operate 0.6 seconds. That one is the time. Based on time, we decide the nature. Based on time, we decide the nature of relay. Here the nature of relay is 0.7. It takes 0.6 seconds to operate. Okay, that means after 0.6 second only it can send a signal to the circuit breaker. It needs 0.6. It needs 0.6 second time to send signal to the circuit breaker. Okay, so here the second transmission line also have the same nature of relay. Third transmission line also have the same nature of relay. Fourth one also same. Okay, now here we can see one more relay. So it is at feeder. Here it is at feeder. We can see one more relay, and we name it, that relay is A. We name it simply that relay is the relay name is A. Okay, here it is also the preset value is that means activating quantity of this relay is current. Activating quantity of this relay is current, and it is also a type of relay is overcurrent relay. And so it takes operating time. Operating time is 1 second. So here in this relay, operating time is 0.6 second. Here in this relay, operating time is 1 second. So there is a discrimination. Between this relay and this relay in point of time. There is a discrimination. That one is here operating time is 0.6. Here the operating time is 1 second. Okay. Now let's see how we are going to protect this entire system. By using primary protection scheme and backup protection scheme. Let we see it step by step. So let's see. Fault is happen at this transmission line. So with absence of relay, circuit breaker, absence of this relay and circuit breaker, let's see the direction of fault current. With absence of this circuit breaker relay, the fault current direction is like this. Am I right? The fault current direction is like this. Am I right? Okay. With absence of circuit breaker relay, the fault current direction is like this. if we cannot isolate this particular transmission line from remaining one, then automatically the fault current direction is like this. That will reach us to the feeder, and from the feeder to bus bar, from the feeder to bus bar. Am I right? Okay. So with options of circuit breaker relay, fault current is like this. Okay. Now let we go for with circuit breaker relays. Let how the fault we are going to isolate. So okay. So here we for protection purpose here we place this one. For protection purpose we place relay. So here the fault is happened, and the fault is detected by the relay. The fault is detected by the relay. When it detects, it sends a signal to the circuit breaker, and circuit breaker contacts are open. And when the circuit breaker contacts are open, this particular section is isolated from the remaining one. Remaining one. This one is the successful case. It is case one. In this case, this relay is successfully operated when the fault is happened, and because of successful nature, this entire section is isolated from the remaining one. This is the case one. If we are going for next option, we are going for case two. Case two is if the relay is failed, to detect the fault, what will happen? So simply what will happen? So here the fault is here. Here the fault is occur, but this relay is failed. To sense the fault because of some constructional defects. Because of constructional defects or wire defects or structure defects. Because of those reasons, this relay is not sense the fault, and it not operated when the fault is happen. So now immediately what will happen? That means the fault current is directly entered to the feeder section. The fault current is entered to the feeder section because of this misbehavior of relay. The fault is entered to the feeder section. So this fault current is very dangerous. This fault current may damage to the feeder and also may damage to the main bus. So at the time we need to prevent. This fault current without damaging the feeder and main bus. That's why here we place one more relay. That means here we provided discrimination here, and also we provided discrimination in terms of time. That one is, if this relay is not operated in a time of 1 second, if this particular relay is do not operate in a time of 1 second, ultimately this relay comes into the picture, and with the time of 1 second, that means at time of 1 second, this relay is going to be operate. When this relay is operate, the entire section is going to be isolated. From the main bus. That means we can uh, uh, safely maintain the bus. We can safely handle the bus without damage. That's why we arrange one more relay at this place. So this one is the backup. Protection. To the bus. This one is the primary protection. To the bus. Okay. here we can arrange two schemes, two protection schemes. One is primary protection, so we can provide primary protection with the help of this relay, and we can provide backup protection with the help of this relay, so this in this way we can protect our system by arranging backup and main protection schemes. Okay students, ఏం లేదమ్మా, సింపుల్ గా చెప్పాలి అంటే మనకి పవర్ సిస్టమ్కి వచ్చేలకి ఛాన్సెస్ అసలు తీసుకోము, ఛాన్సెస్ తీసుకోకుండా కంపల్సరీగా బ్యాకప్ చూసుకుంటాం. ఇన్ కేస్ మనకి ప్రైమరీ మెయిన్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్ ఫెయిల్ అయితే కంపల్సరీగా బ్యాకప్ అనేది కంపల్సరీగా ఉండాలి. సో మన హౌస్లో మనకి టూ ఉంటే ఎలాగా, ఎంసీబీ ఉంటుంది, అట్ ది సేమ్ టైం ఫ్యూజ్ ఉంటుంది. ఇన్ కేస్ ఎంసీబీ ఫెయిల్ అయింది అంటే అల్టిమేట్గా మనకి ఏమవుతుందమ్మా, ఫ్యూజ్ కూడా ఏమవుతుంది, మెల్ట్ అయిపోవాలి ఫ్యూజ్ అనేది. ఓకే అంటే ఫ్యూజ్ అనేది బ్యాకప్ కింద ఉంటుంది మనకి. మన హౌస్ కి బ్యాకప్ ఏంటమ్మా అంటే ఫ్యూజ్, ప్రైమరీ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఏంటమ్మా అంటే ఎంసీబీ. సేమ్ లైక్ ఇక్కడ మనకి ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఎంసీబీ ఇన్ కేస్ ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే అనేది మనకి ఫెయిల్ అయిపోతే అల్టిమేట్ గా మనం ఈ బస్సుని ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకోగలగాలి. బస్సుని ఒక్కసారి మనకి డ్యామేజ్ అయితే అది లైవ్ లోకి రావాలి అంటే ఇట్ టేక్ సో మచ్ ఆఫ్ టైం. ఓకే సో మన ఇంటెన్షనల్ పవర్ సిస్టమ్ అంటే మన ఇంటెన్షనల్ ఏంటమ్మా అంటే అన్ఇంటరప్టెడ్ పవర్ సప్లై ఇవ్వగలగాలి మనం. సో అలాంటప్పుడు మనము ఛాన్సెస్ తీసుకుని బస్ బార్కి కంపల్సరీగా పాసిబుల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఇవ్వాలి. పాసిబుల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఎలా ఇవ్వగలుగుతున్నాము అంటే అమ్మా టూ స్కీమ్స్ యూజ్ చేసి ఇస్తున్నాము. ఏంటి అంటే అమ్మా ప్రైమరీ ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్ ఒకటి ఇస్తున్నాము, బ్యాకప్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్ ఒకటి ఇస్తున్నాము. సో ఇన్ కేస్ ఈ ప్రైమరీ ప్రొటెక్షన్ లో మనకి ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే అనేది మాల్ ఆపరేషన్ అబ్నార్మల్ నేచర్ వల్ల ఇన్ కేస్ ఫెయిల్ అయితే ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే అనేది యాక్టివేట్ లోకి వచ్చేస్తుందండి. అంటే విత్ ఇన్ 1 సెకండ్ లో ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే ఆపరేట్ అయిపోతుంది. సో ఈ బ్యాకప్ ప్రైమరీ ప్రొటెక్షన్ మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలి అంటే కంపల్సరీగా ఆ ప్రొటెక్టివ్ డివైజెస్ కి డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేయగలగాలి, డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ ఇవ్వాలి. సో ఆ డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ ఇక్కడ క్లియర్ గా మనం చూడొచ్చు. రెండు ఓవర్ కరెంట్ టైప్ రిలేస్ అయ్యి, ఇక్కడ ప్లే చేసిన రిలే ఓవర్ కరెంట్ రిలే, ఇక్కడ ప్లే చేసిన రిలే ఓవర్ కరెంట్ రిలే. బట్ డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ ఏంటమ్మా, టైమ్. ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే అనేది 1 సెకండ్ దగ్గర ఆపరేట్ అవుతుంది, ఆపరేటింగ్ టైం 1 సెకండ్. ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే అనేది 0.6 సెకండ్. సో ఫాల్ట్ ఎప్పుడైతే అపీర్ అయిందో, సిస్టంలో మనకి ఫాల్ట్ అపీర్ అయిందో, సో రెండు యాక్టివేటింగ్, ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే యాక్టివేటింగ్ లోకి వస్తుంది, ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే యాక్టివేటింగ్ లోకి వస్తుంది. బట్ ఆపరేటింగ్ టైం అనేది డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటుంది. ఇదేమో 0.6 సెకండ్ దగ్గర ఆపరేట్ అయితే హియర్ దిస్ వన్ ఈస్ ఆపరేట్ ఎట్ 1 సెకండ్. ఓకే ఇన్ కేస్ 0.6 సెకండ్ దగ్గర మనకి ఇది ఫెయిల్ అయింది, ఆ ఫాల్ట్ కరెంట్ ని ఐసోలేట్ చేయలేకపోయింది, అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందమ్మా ఇమీడియట్ గా 1 సెకండ్ దగ్గర ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే అనేది ఆపరేట్ అవుతుంది సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా. ఓకే సో అదే నార్మల్ కేసు తీసుకుందాం, సక్సెస్ఫుల్ కేసు తీసుకుందాం. ఇది 0.6 సెకండ్ దగ్గర సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా ఆపరేట్ అయిపోయింది, నో ప్రాబ్లం. దెన్ ఏమవుతుందమ్మా, ఇది ఇక్కడ నార్మల్ కరెంటే ఫ్లో అవుతుంది, ఫాల్ట్ కరెంట్ ఎంటర్ అవ్వదు, నార్మల్ కరెంటే ఉంటుంది. ఇది ఎప్పుడైతే ఐసోలేట్ అయిపోయిందో, ఈ పర్టికులర్ సెక్షన్ ఐసోలేట్ అయిందో, అగైన్ నార్మల్ కరెంట్ అనేది ఈ సెక్షన్ లో ఫ్లో అవుతుంది. ఎప్పుడైతే నార్మల్ కరెంట్ లోకి వస్తుందో రిలే డీయాక్టివేట్ అవుతుంది, నార్మల్ కరెంట్ దగ్గర డీయాక్టివేట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఓకే ఇన్ దిస్ వే వీ కెన్ ప్రొటెక్ట్. సో ఇలా మనం ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్స్ ని అరేంజ్ చేసుకుంటాం అమ్మా. సో మనం ఏ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ తీసుకున్నా సరే పవర్ సిస్టమ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ లో ఏ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ తీసుకున్నా సరే, జనరేటర్ కానీ, ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్ కానీ, ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ లైన్స్ కానీ, బస్ బార్స్ కానీ, ఏం తీసుకున్నా సరే కంపల్సరీగా ప్రైమరీ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది, దానికి బ్యాకప్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది. ఓకే సో సేమ్ థింగ్ I explained here. So what is primary protection? I explained the diagram with points. Please see it. See it. Definitely you can easily understand. Here also backup protection. Backup protection. And required qualities of protective relays. So okay, what are the required qualities? ఏంటి అసలు మనం ఒక ప్రొటెక్టివ్ రిలేని చూజ్ చేసుకోవాలి అంటే ఆ పర్టికులర్ రిలేకి ఎలాంటి క్వాలిటీస్ ఉండాలి అండి, ఎలాంటి క్వాలిటీస్ ఉండాలి అంటే లైక్ దిస్. ఇట్ మస్ట్ హ్యావ్ సెలెక్టివిటీ, ఇట్ మస్ట్ హ్యావ్ స్పీడ్, ఇట్ మస్ట్ హ్యావ్ సెన్సిటివిటీ అండ్ reliability, simplicity, economy. So these are the qualities must and shouldly the relay have. Okay, so like this. So what is selectivity? Selectivity in the sense, so first requirement selectivity I will explain with example here. In this diagram we can see it. Selectivity, suppose fault ikkada akkaraindamma, fault ikkada akkaraindi. సో ఫాల్ట్ ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడైతే ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే యాక్టివేటింగ్ లోకి వస్తుంది, ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలే అనేది యాక్టివేటింగ్ లోకి వస్తుంది. బట్ ఏది ఫస్ట్ ఆపరేట్ అవ్వాలమ్మా? ఈ రిలే ఆపరేట్ అవ్వాలా, ఈ రిలే ఆపరేట్ అవ్వాలా? ఈ రిలే ఆపరేట్ అవ్వాలి కంపల్సరీగా. ఎందుకంటే సో ఫాల్ట్ అనేది నియర్ గా ఈ పర్టికులర్ రిలేకి నియర్ గా ఉంది కాబట్టి ఈ రిలే అనేది ఆపరేట్ అవ్వాలి, ఈ రిలే అనేది ఆపరేట్ అవ్వాలి. దట్ వన్ ఇస్ ద సెలెక్టివిటీ. అంటే ఫాల్ట్ లొకేషన్ ని ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గా మనం తీసుకున్న రిలే అనేది ఐడెంటిఫై చేయగలగాలి. ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాలి అంటే we are going to give proper discrimination అనేది మనం రిలేస్ కి ప్రొవైడ్ చేయగలగాలి. ఓకే, దట్ వన్ we call it as good selectivity. Next speed. Next requirement is speed. సో ఓకే, ఫాల్ట్ ని ప్రాపర్ గా ఐడెంటిఫై చేసింది, ప్రాపర్ లొకేషన్ చూస్ చేసుకుంది. సో ఈ పర్టికులర్ లొకేషన్ లో ఫాల్ట్ అక్కర్ అయింది. ఓకే, ఆ లొకేషన్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేసింది. అండ్ ఎంత స్పీడ్ గా ఫాల్ట్ ని ఎలిమినేట్ చేస్తే, ఎంత స్పీడ్ గా ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఫాల్ట్ సెక్షన్ ని ఐసోలేట్ చేస్తే రిమైనింగ్ సెక్షన్ నుంచి అంత మనకి అడ్వాంటేజ్, అంత మినిమం డ్యామేజ్ అనేది మనకి ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది. అంత మినిమం డ్యామేజ్ అనేది మనకి అక్కర్ అవుతుంది. కాబట్టి ఎంత స్పీడ్ గా రిలే ఆపరేట్ అవుతుందో అంత బెస్ట్ గా మనకి అంత లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ డ్యామేజ్ ని మనం డిక్రీజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. దట్ వన్ ఇస్ ద స్పీడ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్. అంటే యాజ్ ఎర్లీ యాజ్ పాసిబుల్ మనకి రిలే అనేది ఆపరేట్ అయిపోవాలి. నౌ సెన్సిటివిటీ. ఆ ఫాల్ట్ కరెంట్ 1 కిలో మనకి ప్రీసెట్ వాల్యూ 1 కిలో ఆంపియర్ ఉంది. ఇన్ కేస్ మనకి ఫాల్ట్ కరెంట్ లెవెల్ అనేది 1.1 ఆంపియర్, 1.1 కేవీ ఉండొచ్చు, 1.12 కేవీ ఉండొచ్చు, కేఏ ఉండొచ్చు, 1.3 కేఏ ఉండొచ్చు. మనకి ఫాల్ట్ లెవెల్ ఎంత లోగా ఉన్నా సరే ఆ పర్టికులర్ డిఫరెన్స్ అనేది రిలే అనేది ఐడెంటిఫై చేయగలగాలి. దట్ వి కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ సెన్సిటివిటీ. మోర్ సెన్సిటివ్ గా ఉండాలి, చాలా సెన్సిటివ్ గా ఉండాలి రిలే అనేది, చాలా సెన్సిటివ్ గా ఉండాలి. అంటే నార్మల్ చేంజ్ అంటే మైనర్ డిఫరెన్స్ కూడా ఐడెంటిఫై చేసే కెపాసిటీ ఉండాలి మనం చూస్ చేసుకునే డిజైన్ చేసే రిలేకి. నెక్స్ట్ రిలయబుల్ గా ఉండాలి. సో ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఏదైతే ప్రీసెట్ వాల్యూకి ఇచ్చామో ఆ ప్రీసెట్ వాల్యూ దగ్గర పర్టికులర్ రిలే అనేది ఐడెంటిఫై చేసి డిఫరెన్స్ వస్తే ఆపరేషన్ అయ్యేంత రిలయబిలిటీ మనకి ఇవ్వాలి. దట్ మీన్స్ ప్రీ డిటర్మైన్డ్ కండిషన్స్, మనం ఏదైతే ఒక ప్రీసెట్ వాల్యూ ఇచ్చామో ఆ ప్రీసెట్ వాల్యూతో కంటిన్యూస్ గా మానిటర్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉండాలి. మోర్ రిలయబుల్ గా ఉండాలి మనకి. సింప్లిసిటీ. మనం ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే చెప్పామో స్కీమ్స్, ప్రైమరీ స్కీమ్ అని, ప్రైమరీ ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్ అని, బ్యాకప్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్స్ అని, అవి మోర్ కాంప్లెక్స్ గా కాకుండా ఎంత మినిమం ఎంత సింపుల్ గా ఉంటే అంత మనకి మెయింటెనెన్స్ ఫ్రీగా ఉంటుంది. కాంప్లికేటెడ్ చేసుకోకూడదు. మనకు లైక్ సింపుల్ గా ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూడొచ్చు. ఏంటంటే మనకి ఇక్కడ ఒక రిలే ప్లేస్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది. ఒక రిలే ప్లేస్ లో మనం ఇక్కడ 2-3 రిలేస్ ప్లే చేయాల్సిన నెసెసిటీ లేదు కదా. ఒక రిలేనేమో 0.6 సెకండ్స్ దగ్గర, ఇంకొక రిలే సేమ్ ఇక్కడ ఇదే లొకేషన్ లో ఇంకొక రిలే తీసుకొని దానికి టైం 0.7 సెకండ్, 0.8 సెకండ్ అలా డిఫరెంట్ రిలేస్ యూజ్ చేయాల్సిన నెసెసిటీ లేదు. సో మోర్ సింపుల్ గా మనం సిస్టమ్ ని విత్ మినిమం డ్యామేజ్, మోర్ సింపుల్ గా ఉండాలి, అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం మినిమం డ్యామేజ్ అక్కడేటట్టు మనం స్కీమ్స్ ని రెడీ చేసుకోవాలి సిస్టమ్ కి. ఎకానమీ. సో ఎకానమీ మనకి ఎంత లో కాస్ట్ తో మనం ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్స్ ని అరేంజ్ చేసుకోగలిగితే అంత అడ్వాంటేజ్ మనకి. ఎందుకంటే ఓన్లీ వీ కెన్ స్పెండ్ 5% ఆఫ్ ద టోటల్ కాస్ట్. మనం ప్రొటెక్షన్ కి యూజ్ చేసే ఏదైతే ఎకానమీ ఉంటుందో టోటల్ ఎకానమీలో, పవర్ సిస్టమ్ ఎకానమీలో ఓన్లీ 5% మాత్రమే స్పెండ్ చేస్తామండి. సో మనం స్కీమ్స్ అన్ని మోర్ ఎకానమిక్ గా ఉండాలి, ప్రైమరీ కానీ బ్యాకప్ కానీ. సో ప్రైమరీ బ్యాకప్ లో యూజ్ చేసే ఎలిమెంట్స్ కంపల్సరీగా ఎకానమీగా ఉండాలి. ఓకే, అంతేగాని ఒక రిలే యూజ్ చేయాల్సిన ప్లేస్ లో 2 or 3 రిలేస్ యూజ్ చేస్తాము అంటే దట్ వన్ ఈస్ అన్నెసరీ థింగ్. ఓకే, అది యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయకూడదు. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్, దీస్ ఆర్ ద బేసిక్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ when we go for choosing relays for our power system. Okay students, today I will stop the class. If you have any doubts regarding today's class, please ask me. Otherwise, I will stop class. Students, if you have any doubts related today's class, ask me. Otherwise, I will stop class. Ramnaran sir. సార్ రామనారాయణ సార్
సార్ చెప్పండి.
పవర్ కట్ సార్, పవర్ కట్ మళ్ళీ మార్చుకున్నాను.
సర్లేండి, క్లోజ్ చేయండి.
స్టూడెంట్స్, మీకు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ఈ పర్టికులర్ క్లాస్కి రిలేటెడ్గా అడగండి అమ్మా, లేకపోతే మనం ఓకే స్టూడెంట్స్, ఐ స్టాప్ ద క్లాస్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.